Super Smashed Brothers Podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Fucking hell, Brett.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. No. Might as well just start like that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Super Smash Brothers Gaming Podcast. I am your...
Yeehaw!
Are you done? You done? You done yet? All right. I am your host, Aaron Unagi Samurai, and I am joined by Luke Stoby Paul Soldier, and the other man is Mr. Brett Skis on the Bloody Bread Skier. How are you, fellas?
Those are all official, like, birth certificate names.
Yeah, that's definitely written on my birth certificate.
Yeah, bloody skiing on the bread nicely here. Thank you for having me, Sir Unagi.
My pleasure. All right. Anyway, okay. So maybe we can start off and talk about what we do. I am an Xbox gamer. I love Xbox. I love playing Xbox. I love watching Xbox. Maybe even cuddling with it a little bit. I also am a game enthusiast. I like watching walkthroughs and is that walkthroughs? Does that reading walkthroughs? Just watching video games. Okay. And how about you, Lucas?
I'm a Nintendo gamer. I'm also a game designer. And my question to you, Aaron, is how long after the Xbox One launch did you buy an Xbox One?
Well, you see, that's an interesting story that I had to wait a whole year because Japan likes to wait an extremely long time after things come out before they bring it out in Japan. So it's a whole entire year that I had to wait. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. All right.
Those painful memories.
Painful memories. All right. And how about you, Mr. Brett?
Well, I just want to say that Xbox One has 99 problems, and its name is One. Oh, thank you. I believe I'm on this podcast because at one point I played the Nintendo 64, which to me is still high tech.
And my question to you, Brett, is where is your Nintendo 64 now?
I'm not too sure, Lucas. Where would you may have seen it last?
I last saw it under my TV.
How dare you?
Okay. All right. So, all right, everyone. We're all warmed up. My hands are warm. Okay, let's go into the first segment.
General Gaming News.
All right. Yeah. This segment is general gaming news. It's a pretty generic name. It pretty much explains what we're going to talk about. Gaming news that is quite general. Yeah. Okay. so
generally speaking.
Yeah. All right. So Lucas, do you have a piece for us?
Okay. Let's just say that there was the Nintendo Classic. The Famicom Classic is also coming to Japan. And they both are completely different with different games. Almost.
So if I remember, the Famicom is the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo? Or is
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Famicom was released in Japan first and looks different to the original Nintendo that we got in Western countries. And the controllers are wired to the actual console, so...
Ooh.
The controllers on the new Famicom Mini are tiny.
Really? Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it come with I suppose the games are also built into the device?
They are, yeah. Yeah, it's just a emulator box basically. But it's pretty cheap It's cheap
All right.
and it's tiny and it would fit under your TV without any problems.
It'd fit in your TV without any problems.
If you have one of those TVs that are big enough to fit it in, yeah. I'm being very general.
Yeah.
here.
Well, I suppose this is general gaming news. So.
This is general
Anyways.
gaming news.
That was quite general. Well done.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, it's I'd like to get my hands on that. I suppose if there's all the classic games.
Hands, you only need one hand because it's so small.
Fits right in your fingernail. But what can we expect to play on this game system, Mr. Lucas?
all the classics are on there, like all the classic Mario games and all the classic Zelda games, and I think there's Donkey Kong, and there's a couple more obscure games on there as well. There's the American version or Western version has sports games, whereas the Famicom Japanese version has more kind of, I think it actually has a sumo game. So
There's a sumo game.
Sumo
Yeah,
game.
it actually has a sumo game.
That's cool.
I mean, I'd be up for playing that. I'm down. I'm down.
And I'm bringing up a list here, and there's
I mean, if
there's even Mario's Open Golf.
it has Donkey Kong's, what else is it? Yoshi's Island. If it's got that on there, I'm definitely sold on it.
That Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island's too late for this.
Oh, is it really?
It's too new.
Too new.
Yeah. Too
Wow.
new.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
This is only games from the Famicom or Nintendo. So
is it that? Oh, it's
um,
okay. The Famicom is the Super Nintendo, or is it the shoebox Nintendo?
the Super Nintendo was the Super Famicom.
Ah,
so this
okay.
is the, shoebox.
So this is where I'm
Yeah,
getting messed
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, all right. I will not be playing that on there then. The classic ones. Does it
No.
have? What's a good Super Nintendo game that I used to play? Yeah, maybe just Mario's.
Just Mario.
Mario's.
Yeah.
Ah.
I know. Let's ask Brett because Brett's the only one in Australia. Are you going to buy a Nintendo Classic Mini?
I sure am. Are we talking about the shoebox?
Yeah, the shoebox.
We're talking about the shoebox. Yeah.
It is.
But it's not actually like you couldn't put shoes into it had you no longer the need to play your old game.
It is now
Unless-
really small. It's miniature and it comes with all the games. And as
Yeah.
Lucas said,
So unless you wear
controllers.
tiny shoes, it's no good for a shoebox.
Right, yeah. Well, I would play this if it had Donkey Kong on it. Is that an option?
There is a Donkey Kong game on there. Yeah.
Oh,
The,
Which
the
one?
original Donkey Kong.
ah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And I think it's time that we move on.
That's my general news.
Okay, the general
I'm
news.
still getting used to talking. Yeah, sorry.
Well, this is the first
Continue.
episode, so you can relax. Have a
I
maybe
guess Star
have
Wars
a drink.
Episode 1 was just as bad.
I'd say that my general gaming news is games coming out. I believe this year, the games that I would love to play coming out this year. So probably say top of the list would be Titanfall 2. Now, Brett, do you know what that is?
Titans like tights fall on your shoes.
See, this is
Titanfall.
why we have you on this podcast.
It's with the large robotic creatures.
Yes.
Are they creatures or are they just
No,
you inhabit them or
they're robots. It's kind of like Call of Duty, I guess, is probably the closest game. Except then, once you accumulate enough points, you can call down a giant mech robot, and then you can hop in it, and then then continue to kill people.
kill people?
The first one was very good. I actually play it still sometimes, but when it came out, it was very bare bone. There was not a lot of content on there, and no real progression system. So got a little bit old, a little bit quick. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just like, that's the one thing that put me off it was, I thought that the first one was all, online sort of, so you couldn't really play it by yourself. Is that right?
They had I'm doing bunny ears, or the bunny ear fingers. What is it actually called?
I'm wearing them.
Yeah, no one can actually see this. But yeah, they had like a campaign which was just like, just the multiplayer with just these weird like intro bits and like some sort of story going on that wasn't actually a story, and you couldn't understand it, and you were like, what is going on? I don't understand it. This is just multiplayer. So no, they didn't have a campaign. So this time it will come out with a full campaign. And obviously with the multiplayer as well. So looking forward to playing that. I did play the preview. Was it the beta
Demo?
Yeah.
Beta demo?
Yeah, and why there was a lot of new additions, like you can now use a grappling hook, and the Titans are a bit more varied. They have different powers. It seemed to be a lot more slower, and a big part of this game that the reason why people find it fun is there's a lot of wall running, and you can get to in the first one from one side of the map to the other normally without touching the ground. So in this new one, or the maps that we saw in the beta, there was not that. You would run and jump, and then you'd be like, oh, now I'm gonna land on the ground. And the problem with that is that the Titans would then see you, and then they would shoot you, and then you would be dead. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to maybe when I purchase the game or play it, to see if it is actually any good. Yes.
When does that come out?
That I think hold on, it comes out this month actually. It comes out on the 28th of October. So
28th of October.
Yes.
Oh, that's not
Pre-order
far
now.
away.
Unlike the first one, it will come out on the Xbox and also on the PlayStation 4.
You could get affiliations going, Aaron. This is great marketing.
Huh?
We should get sponsored by EB or whoever's the big game company thing in Japan.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure they'll be paying for it.
Yeah. Maybe when we get past our first episode, then we'll have to just sit down and discuss sponsors.
Maybe your local ramen shop.
Yeah. Maybe yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Is there any upcoming games this year that you guys are interested in? How about for you, Lucas? There's for iPad and iPhone. Have you heard this? The Super Mario Run.
Yeah, I've already done the pre-order thing for that.
Okay.
So you can actually go into the Apple Store and press the button that says you want a notification when it's available to download.
Okay. Do you have to pay for this?
It's free with a one-time payment for the entirety of the game.
Okay. So, all right.
Yeah. And let me just check here, because I did hear recently they already have 20 million users signed up for a game that's not even released yet.
Is that like a record? Sounds like a record to me.
I don't know. It's definitely a record for Nintendo games on phones.
Yeah.
But since this is the second one, if you don't count Pokemon Go.
If you don't count Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Well, it's technically not Nintendo.
All right. So, what makes this different from other Mario games?
You can play it one-handed, so you can do whatever else you want with your other hand while you're playing Mario.
Wow. From what I've seen, it's Super Mario Run. Is it that you are continuously running, or?
yeah, basically, it's like a standard kind of
That's-
iPhone run game.
Yeah, you're running just behind Peach as she goes up an elevator. The whole game. It's well, Bowser snatched her, and they're going through the Tokyo subway.
I'm done with you guys.
One thing leads to another.
Yeah.
And sorry, continue.
No, that's all right. Yeah, moving on. We also have Super Mario Maker 4 3DS. Does anyone have a 3DS?
Yeah, I have a 3DS.
Will you be getting
I
Mario
have-
Maker on the 3DS?
I've already got it on the Wii U, so I'm not sure.
That's probably a no.
Yeah, it's there's a couple downgrades with the 3DS version. Number one is that you can't upload your courses you make on the 3DS version online.
Oh, really?
So that's defeats part of the purpose of the original one. And second is that it doesn't actually display in 3D. So technically the game should be called Super Mario Maker for 3DS in 2D.
There you go. All right. Well, we also have Watch Dogs 2. If you
That's the
you
first
have
I've heard of. Oh
you've-
wait, Watch Dogs 2. Yes.
so in the
I was
original
thinking of Nintendo.
in the original one, you are a hacker and you you would hack people's phones and other devices, and I think maybe vehicles as well. I think it's kind of like GTA but with hacking. The first one wasn't received that great, but the second one they've gone with a totally different protagonist. It made him a bit hip. He looks like he's a hipster. So yeah, and you can actually hack anyone's phone or any vehicle in the game.
I wanted to play the first one because it looks a lot like Person of Interest, the TV show.
Never seen it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Person of Interest.
Oh, is that?
They have the supercomputer that watches everyone, so he
Okay.
uses it to hack into stuff. And the protagonist of the first one actually looked a lot like the protagonist of Person of Interest. So I watched all of Person of Interest, and I really wanted to play that because I was having a withdrawal.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So but yeah, we'd also like to see how this one plays out. I will be watching it with dogs, 2 of them.
Sea dogs.
Didn't really think that through.
Yeah.
That pun. No.
No, but I think you should edit a drum in there.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you
I
talking
can do
about?
sound effects and yeah, well, yeah.
I
Maybe that. Yeah.
someone
Edit us out talking about putting sound
Yeah.
effects in.
Anyway, yes. So
You can hire a voice actor to be more informed than I am and pretend to be me.
yeah. We're just gonna cut you out.
What
Just
do you
gonna
think,
edit you
Brett?
out.
Some guy from Mexico. I think I'm also looking forward to Watch Dogs 2.
No, we're gonna have one
that
of
was
those,
terrible.
like one of those. I'm great with names. One of those board things with the buttons. So I'm gonna be like, Brett, what do you think about this game? And I'm gonna push it and be like, great, fantastic.
And
then so, yeah.
get the sound clips happening.
Yeah, just sound clips.
Sound
yeah.
board. I don't know.
I'm not really sure. Awesome.
So anyway, all right. So that one
Yeah.
comes out on the 15th
Yeah.
of November. So yeah, like to see how that goes. All right, let's now move into our next segment. All right, so our next segment is
It's time for Personal Gamer, expressing our thoughts and opinions.
Okay. So this one is called Personal Gamer. So this is one where we express our opinions and we discuss things about games and ourselves. Does that make sense? Okay, so today...
That's a far...
Yes?
Sorry. I just wanted to say that's a far cry from what I thought it was.
Oh,
No?
there's the drum beat
No?
there.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
Come on. I know that game.
I'm a little bit upset because it took me a little while to catch on to that one.
Let's not have a fallout.
You could say that joke about Far Cry was pretty primal, because that's a new one.
Come on, guys. We're doing a podcast here. We've got a Call of Duty to adhere to.
Oh, look at this guy with the halo on his head.
Oh god. Oh, that game is such a link to the past.
All right,
game buns.
Guys, this
Aaron,
we have to be serious, guys. This is our destiny. All right, okay.
Do you play the banjo or kazooie?
Just lost. All right, so for this one, we'll be talking about our game history. So to get these two gorillas out of the way, I will start. So yeah, I started with an Atari that my grandfather bought me, and I used to play Pitfall and a game with a little plane that you used to move left and right and collect fuel for. Have no idea what it was called. Didn't do my research. All right, then I moved on to the shoebox Nintendo, the one that you had to blow the cartridge several times to get it to work. Although apparently that did nothing. It's just like pulling it in that actually
Apparently destroys your cartridges.
Yeah. So
But I still do it.
So all these, I think it's now ingrained in my brain. If I'm gonna play a shoebox Nintendo, I'm gonna blow on the games.
Yeah. It's always if you blow it too much, then it sort of gets damaged.
So then we had that one, and then I had a Super Nintendo. I enjoyed classic games like Yoshi's Island, Mario, Donkey Kong, and Bubsy the Bobcat. Does anyone know that game? Just me.
I actually have a copy of that here.
You do?
Yeah, it's essentially like a Sonic game with a bobcat. Not with Bubs.
I would rate it higher than Sonic. I'm not a fan of Sonic, to be honest.
It's a funny thing with Bubsy the Bobcat. So I've got this American friend, and he said no one he knew ever had that game. Yeah, everyone I knew in Australia had that game.
Maybe it was better publicized in Australia.
I don't know. When I told him that I have Bubsy the Bobcat, he said, "You don't really have that trash, do you?"
Ooh.
Yeah, so strong words from him.
Oh. Anyway, so yeah, are you done destroying my childhood?
Not yet, but continue.
So yeah, and then I think after that, we have obviously the Nintendo 64. Playing GoldenEye. I think that was one of the first shooters that I enjoyed. With four people, couch co-op is the way to go. Is someone eating?
Yeah, I'm eating.
Are you?
Yeah.
Way to be professional. And then eventually after that I dropped out of games. I just gave up. I was like, I'm better than that. I'm better than these this scum. And then anyway, so yeah.
What?
No. And then one day I went round to a friend's house and they said, play this. And I looked at the game, and you were these soldiers that I think the main one is green, and he was riding this purple thing that's called a ghost, and they're like, this is Halo, and I was like, oh my god. And yes, so I went out and got an Xbox, and I fell in love with Halo, and then I had the Xbox. Then I had the Xbox 360. I continued along with the Halos, other games. And then again, I dropped out. I thought, nah, you know what? Second time, I'm done. I'm finished. This is it. You know, guys, this is it for good. And then anyway, I one day like had the 360 there, and I was like, oh, what's this? This is a Xbox Live. I think it was like a 2-week, 14-day membership gold card thing. And I was like, oh, you know, I'll just use this. And then again, I was like, oh my God. And after that, I got right back into it. And now I have a Xbox One that, yes, I had to wait a whole year for it to come out in Japan because they were region locked if the country did not release it. And so I was devastated for a whole year, went into isolation, cried in the shower every day. Then eventually got it, played Titanfall, then got heavily into Destiny, became addicted to that game. Don't play it anymore because I got a little bit old, a bit repetitious. So now I'm playing Halo 5 and other various games. So yes, let's move on to Lucas, Mr. Lucas Stobie.
So like you, we had an Atari growing up, but my dad bought it second hand, and he left it. He actually had to borrow the power cord from a friend. We had some pet rabbits who chewed through that power cord, and they somehow survived, but the power cord didn't. So at that stage of the Atari's life, it was impossible to buy a replacement power cord for an Atari anywhere. So we went to the Super Nintendo, which I was on until basically the GameCube came out.
So what did you skip the shoebox Nintendo?
Yeah. By the time we got a Nintendo, it was actually about 95, so the Super Nintendo was on its way out.
I suppose it takes a while to get like news out where you were living. Like you need like a carrier pigeon or something. You were living out in the country, right?
We had to get, one of us had to run around on the hamster wheel to power the thing, so it was.
You stole my joke.
I'm getting in there before you do.
Oh, there you go. And then you moved on to straight onto the GameCube.
I had a Game Boy Advance for a few years, but that's, in the grand scheme of things, that's basically like getting a portable Super Nintendo in the end, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also had a Game Boy. I forgot to put that in. I feel a little bit embarrassed now.
Yeah.
So when I moved out of home and went to Melbourne, started university, and I bought myself a GameCube because Twilight Princess Zelda was meant to be coming out on that, and then they announced the Wii, so I pre-ordered that and ended up getting a Wii for right.
So hold on, you didn't get a Nintendo 64 either, so therefore you missed out on playing Zelda Ocarina of Time. Blasphemy.
We got a 64. We did actually get one very late, and so I did play Ocarina of Time, but after Wind Waker.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Wind Waker is
for shame.
But I was all on the Link to the Past while everyone was on Ocarina, so there you go.
At least you're doing some Zeldering.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I got a 3DS, moved to Japan, got a Wii U, and yeah, that's it.
I feel like giving you a round of applause, but I'm not going to.
Bravo!
And now I've got
All right.
the largest collection of Japanese Super Nintendo games in the apartment building that I'm in. I think
it's a pretty big apartment building.
It is.
It's a pretty big apartment building.
It is. It's got 6 apartments.
Oh. Yeah, take that, you other five residents.
Yeah.
All right, and let's move on to Bretty.
G'day, guys. All right, my gaming history, right? So, I suppose that started when I was perhaps around the age of 6. We got the Super Nintendo. My mother and father graciously bought that for me, my brother and sister. And each year following that, we used to get a Super Nintendo game, sort of as a gift, if you will, that we would all share. The only problem was that my sister didn't really like Super Nintendo games, but we still got them. so the majority ruled in favor of us. So we would all pick the one that we thought would be the upcoming title for Christmas, and that was usually a Donkey Kong game. So I remember even at the age of 6, one of my earliest memories was getting this game and being absolutely blown away by the original Donkey Kong. I remember I had an argument with a primary school friend of mine, one of my earliest arguments ever. and I remember telling him, well, that's it then, Chris. I still remember his name was Chris. So Chris, if you're listening, I'm sorry, I'm telling the story. And I said, Chris, if you don't like it, then you can't come around to our house and play Donkey Kong Country with the 3D graphics. It's got the 3D graphics, Chris. Yeah.
That stumps whatever you got, mate.
So it's quite funny because even as a kid, I knew there must have been something special about 3D graphics for some reason.
So
captured
what was he saying
imagination.
that is better than Donkey Kong?
You know, I can't remember what it was.
He was probably one of those fighting game fans. You know, like normally the people that are into fighting games, they're like the people that like country music. You know, that there's music and then there's country music. There's people who like video games and then there's people who like the fighting video games.
Yeah.
So he's like maybe like what was it? Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat was that on?
Mortal Kombat was on Super Nintendo. Yeah, Killer Instinct was as well.
Yeah, maybe Killer Instinct. Yeah, so he's
Supreme
like
victory.
He's probably like, yeah, you know, Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct and Donkey Kong Country are the same company though. Same developers.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And I
to be honest,
also liked Killer Instinct as well. So
I was going to say, like, I like the analogy, but I actually loved Killer Instinct, and I loved.
Yeah, me too. I'm.
What was the?
I'm just.
Super Smash Brothers, I guess the name of the podcast. But yeah, they were the two fighting games that I really liked.
I would say that Super Smash Brothers isn't really a conventional fighting game.
Shots fired.
There's aspects of fighting, but it is very different from, your everyday fighting game, I would say.
Yeah. I suppose you're right. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I still can't remember what it was about. But anyway, I still remember it was one of my earliest arguments, and I was really proud of having this game. I must have loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, and each year after that, we'd get number 2 would come out, and we'd wait months for that, and unwrap it on Christmas. And myself and my brother, we'd be very happy, and my sister would sit there disgruntled because she wasn't interested, but it was a big part of our Christmas gift. Yeah, so it started perhaps with the Donkey Kong games, and then eventually I got hooked on Pokemon, I think in about year 5. So I got Pokemon Blue, and that was another thing that I absolutely had to have. And I told my mum, I must have this. It must be done. And sure enough, she got it for me a few months later at Christmas again. And yeah, I paraded around the school very, very proud, and proud of my choice of blue rather than red for anyone listening. Blue was much better for some reason in my head.
I think, I also had blue. I was like, it's got a picture of the Blastoise on there, so I'm gonna pick the blue one. Yeah.
How can you say no to Blastoise?
Exactly.
I just thought he looked super cool compared to was it the Charizard on the red?
Yes. Is that the final evolution? I can't remember. Charizard.
Yeah,
Charizard. Lucas, help me out. Charizard. Yeah, Charmander, Charmeleon. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Blastoise.
Yeah.
Blastoise over
Blastoise.
Charizard any day.
Any day. Yeah, and that was life changing. I remember we used to go on these holidays every year, Merimbula in Queensland, and my dad would be like, well, let's go to the beach. And I'd be like, but Dad, I don't want to go to the beach. And every day I would refuse to go. I'd want to sit in the tent in the boiling heat and just play Pokemon. I was that obsessed with it.
Hey son, let's go out for a holiday and enjoy nature and the beach and the wonders of the universe.
And I was like, but I haven't got a Doug trio. Screw that. So my priorities from an early age were capturing executors and Doug trios and ponytails and whatnot.
Yeah, I do remember there was one time where I was running around the table because I was halfway through a battle and I couldn't save it, and my mum was like yelling at me and she was because it was time for dinner and everyone's waiting for me and I'm like, I've just got to finish this battle, and it didn't end very well. I did not finish it. I also got in trouble. I think there was no ice cream that night.
Do you think our kids will have to deal with us shouting at them saying, "You better save that game before you come here"? Don't you
do your internet marketing?
Don't you lose your progress?
Or something. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I suppose I'd have to make one first. But Aaron, what do you think? Will you? How do you think you'll tackle that in the coming years?
I was like, oh my god, you've made a game. Oh, all right, we're talking about children now. I would like my child to enjoy video games just like I do. I don't know. I think I'm a bit standoffish on portable devices like 3DSs and Game Boys and such, because they're harder to control. There's a park near my house that I ride past and normally see maybe 10 children in a circle in the middle of the play equipment playing their 3DSs. So
they're definitely not doing. Is it Soggy Biscuit? Sorry, moving on.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, Brett. After that, what did you have after that? After your Game Boy?
Oh, after that, right? Yeah, continuing my chronological history.
Yeah.
So we anyway. So we had I had an obsession with Pokemon for a good year or so.
I'm going to give you like another maybe 2.5, 3 minutes tops. All right, yeah, go for it.
Oh, sorry, I do ramble.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the peak of the story really was the next big thing was the Nintendo 64, and I went round to a friend's house in year 6, and we had a sleepover, and he had Bomberman 64. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember playing that once.
And oh, Jesus Christ, my whole world just exploded. I could not believe what I was seeing. And he had Mario 64. I think it had just come out. It was in about June, I think. I'm not too sure. But anyway, I spent the rest of the year trying to convince my mum to go out and buy one of these things. And sure enough, again, she complied with my wishes. and yeah, so it was in about July, I think she bought it. I'd found a special. I'd spent months training myself to look for the specials in the Target catalogs and whatnot. And it came with Lilac Wars, and it came with a Rumble Pack and all of this stuff. And so yeah, I had to wait about 5 months, and I'd check her cupboard for this thing, trying to do it secretly, but I'm pretty sure she knew. And then Christmas Day finally came, and I tell you what, I think even in the future, should I become married or whatnot, I think that was the happiest day of my life. I still remember the joy. It was joyful.
It
was bliss.
Says stuff about your life. No. I'm sure. Yeah.
It could say something about that. But yeah, and I think it was the very next day that my brother and I had decided we had enough money between us to buy Banjo-Kazooie, because I'd seen ads on TV for this game. And oh my god, you think advertising doesn't work on you, but that worked on me. I had to have that when I saw that commercial. And again, that just that even topped the Christmas Day. I think it was Boxing Day. We were playing this game at night time, And that's when I knew that games would be something that I would obsess about for years. After that, I got the PS2 at one point, another Christmas gift a few years later. It didn't quite hook me the same way. Maybe it didn't have the charm of the Nintendo 64, really.
I know that Nintendo, the characters and, I think it's, Mario and Donkey Kong and that are a bit more appealing.
Yeah, something about the kooky characters and the bright colors and the adventurous worlds and all of this stuff that I really liked. And but then that sort of changed a bit, like you were saying, Aaron. Like when I went round to another friend's house in about year 8, and he said, "Oh, come and play this game, Halo Combat Evolved." And I thought, Combat Evolved? How much more evolved can it be? But sure enough, I went round there, and I remember looking at the grass textures. Sorry,
you're one of those people.
And thinking,
no,
I couldn't.
I think there's been countless times when I've been playing a multiplayer game, and I've killed you, Brett, and it was because you were too busy looking at the textures on a rock or a blade of grass or a tree.
I've been guilty of that, even right up until the present day games. I still do it. And that started with Halo. I think I appreciated it before that, but when I saw it in Halo, I thought, wow, where is the world going? Like, these people are getting so good at this, and I just get so distracted by that. But yeah, I still do that a little bit. But sure enough, if I'm going to play Halo with you, I'll probably be a bad teammate because I'll get distracted by the texture on the grass and I will die. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I've been meaning to get back into it, honest to God, but just in the last, my transition back to Australia and then studying again, and I'm a student again, so I don't really have the money at the moment. But that will change soon enough. And I'll be hopefully getting back into some games. Xbox looks pretty promising. Are they bringing out the new Xbox soon, Aaron?
I don't think the new generation will be coming out for quite a while. They are bringing out more like advanced ones, the PlayStation and the Xbox One.
Update.
You'll play the non-update. You'll be playing the same games and stuff. I think the code name for the Xbox One upgraded one is the Scorpio, which they say is 4 times more powerful and all this stuff. So maybe that's for another podcast. We can talk about this in greater detail. But yeah, for the maybe next generation ones, I think there's still a couple of years to go or more. All right.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, let's now get on to the next segment. Unrelated gaming news. Stuff that's about stuff that's not related to gaming. This next segment, we will talk about maybe unrelated gaming stuff. Stuff that is unrelated to gaming, or maybe with some gaming, but with a focus on Japan. Yeah, I'm good with words. So, because I currently live in Japan, and so does Lucas. Brett had lived there for, is it 3 years, Brett?
Yeah, the number I keep going back to is 2 years, 8 months.
Do you, you know what? 2 years, 8 months, 3 weeks, 1 day, and 45.7 minutes.
Yeah, depending on your perspective.
So this segment we will probably be talking about stuff like that. We are very prepared. We do not have anything with this segment for this first episode, so maybe we'll when we think of something, or if you would like to comment and put something on there, a question, what would you like us to talk about, we will do that. All right, but we will be moving on to the next segment, which is
Obscure Retro Hardware and / or Games Review.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
All right, so this one is obscure retro hardware and slash or games review. This is where Lucas talks about an obscure retro hardware and slash or game and reviews
So
it.
did anyone ever play Wrecking Crew on the Shoebox Nintendo?
I'm gonna say a safe no.
Of course,
They're
Brett
definitely
did, because I
not.
know Brett's played every game in existence.
Brett, is this true?
Wrecking Crew.
I've never even
Wrecking
heard
It's
of this
Wrecking
retro
Crew. Okay, now Brett's just making up games.
So Wrecking Crew was
Oh, God.
basically a Mario
Yeah.
game, kind of action puzzle where you had to destroy things in the level and just basically destroy everything in the level, and then you'd advance to the next one. It's came out as a launch title for the Shoebox Nintendo, as it's now officially called in this podcast.
Is this called or is this game like Wreck-It Ralph?
It could be.
Wreck-It Ralph.
It could be. It's got a very similar premise to Wreck-It Ralph.
What's this? What's this Wreck-It? You've been hanging out with that Wreck-It Ralph again, haven't you? This sounds like a problem
Wreck-It
child that one should avoid.
Anyway, I'm not talking
What is
about
this Wreck-It
I'm not
Ralph?
talking
Yeah, anyway,
about
sorry.
Wrecking Crew today. I'm talking about its sequel, Wrecking Crew 98. Any guesses to what
Or
year
is
it
it
came out in?
is this the 98 sequel? Oh, good. I was gonna say they're either really successful with this game, or they
I
just
mean,
like
if
to bring
they
out
if they had
sequels.
97 sequels to this game, I'm sure one of you would have played at least one of them. Otherwise, there's
Yeah,
like
probably.
maybe the 98th time we'll finally hit it.
They've got quite a fantastic budget to make 97 failed sequels.
So both
That's a
both
stubborn guy.
Wrecking Crew 98.
It's like guys. I'm sure they're not the other 97. They weren't that good, but
98.
98 we're
98's
definitely
gonna
gonna
hit.
get this one out there.
So both of these games are actually Mario games. So they both star Mario, and you play as Mario. But the difference between the two is Wrecking Crew 98 is essentially a puzzle game, straight-on puzzle game, like a Dr. Mario or Tetris or something.
Well, it really does sound like a gang of thugs that would
It does feature
that would
does
perhaps
feature
take
some,
your
as your enemies are definitely thug-like characters. So yeah.
Ah.
Oh, there you go. Do you currently
I do.
own this game? Being
Sorry.
a collector.
I have just been disconnected.
Oh
Hang on.
God!
Just we are suffering
I heard that.
technical difficulties right now. Please stand.
I do
with
currently.
us. Please stand with us.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
here.
everyone stand
I'm
up.
still here. I do currently own this game. It only came out in Japan, actually, for the Super Nintendo for the BS Satellaview system, which was an online system only available in Japan in the 90s, which is complete BS.
Wow.
The BS, the BS system.
Well, on that note, let's move to the next segment. All right. Brett's free app of the fortnight. All right, this next segment is it's called this is Brett's forte. It's called Brett's free app of the fortnight, where Brett will tell us about a free app or game that he's been playing, and yeah, that he enjoys. We will skip this one because Brett is lazy and has not done
Dude.
what I asked him. So
Yeah, well, yeah. Fair comments, really. But the Candy Crush is still, Candy Crush.
I think nearly every single person, being a gamer or non-gamer, knows of this game, Brett. It's a nice try, a nice cover up, but I'm gonna reject you And we're going
We're
to
broadening on.
move on
Oh.
to the next segment. All right, so this next segment is the last one. Is this a real game or is it fantasy? All right, this next segment is this a real game or is it just fantasy? All right, so in this segment, we will go through a list of games, and each after we give the title and a brief description of the game, Brett has to tell us if this is a real game or if it is a fake game that we or me or Lucas have just made up. All right. Brett?
Oh boy. I can see that this is going to be
So,
quite
you
interesting.
ready for the first one?
Okay. All right.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
far
Lucas,
away.
are you going to take us off
I'll,
with the
I'll
first
do the
one?
first one. So
Read it
the
out
first
for us.
one is called Desert Bus, and in Desert Bus, yes.
Desert Bus.
Not Desert Bus, Desert Bus. And in Desert Bus, you must
Oh,
drive
God.
across the desert, which takes approximately,
Mm.
let's see, 8 hours. And it's a straight road. So you have to drive your desert bus across the desert for 8 hours. And you can't just hold down the button. Because your bus has a slight little problem with the steering, which makes it kind of swerve off the road a little bit sometimes.
Oh.
So but there's no
I
corners or
see.
anything, so you don't need to worry about steering. It's just you need to correct the bus like maybe once every 30 or 40 minutes or something. And then once you get
Oh,
to
there
the
we
end,
go.
you
Sounds
just turn your bus
riveting.
around and drive back. Yeah.
Do you have to count the
There's-
roadkill?
Okay. So I think for this segment, right, where this is not allowed. The questions. Maybe you can talk to yourself, Brett, about what you think, if this is real or fake. But we're not going to
Yeah.
answer your questions.
Well, 8 hours. I mean, 8 hours. Who plays a game for 8 hours anyway? I haven't met a soul. And second of all, rather, it would a bus. You know, there are perhaps more or less. It's a rather mediocre form of transportation. I've seen other more entertaining versions of transport in my lifetime. Hence, that's why the scooter was invented, or perhaps, if you will, the automobile, which comes in several forms, and its ramifications for various ways to enjoy the landscape could be much more improved, given this is a virtual reality context.
Okay,
I mean,
Brett.
come
Okay,
on.
thank you for
Is
your
this-
essay.
And we, I
Okay.
want to take the bus.
Do you think
is
that
this one
this-
with a Mikey? Do they have a Mikey on the bus?
Brett. All right. Do you
I
think
bloody
this,
hope not.
that,
I
Desert
hope they've
Bus
got the
is
bloody-
a real or is it fake?
I'm going to go with that. No man in his right mind would surely make a desert bus game. Hence, I have to reject such a notion. I believe that even the most mundane of people, even with those programming skills required, would not create such a fathomable abomination. If you will.
Okay.
This
So
is
alright.
do we
outrageous.
reveal to him
This is
the
rubbish.
answer
I
now? Should
will.
we? Yep.
Yes. Okay, so Lucas, is this Desert Bus real
Desert
or is
Bus
it fake?
is actually a real game released as part of Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors
No.
compilation. Sorry, I can't even say it. In '95, I'm not even going to bother trying to. 95, and you
No.
do need to drive
So-
your desert bus for 8 hours across the desert from Arizona to Las Vegas at a real-time maximum speed
Oh
of
my
45 miles per hour.
So Brett,
I heard that you can.
you are first point ever on the podcast. You have lost. So Lucas and I are 1 point, and Brett, you are 0. All right. So
This
let's
is unacceptable.
let's move on to the next game before Brett starts rambling on. Okay. The next game is okay. It is a game. It came out in Japan. The translation is Hopper. All right. So as a one-legged girl, you must hop your way through a variety of puzzles and mazes in search of what was taken from you, your leg. All right,
This seems awfully prejudiced for a start. Yeah, but
So it said it focuses on you running mazes in like a time, and also doing puzzles. So that is the I would say the genre of the game.
I'm not sure if you'd be running mazes with one leg, but yeah. So puzzle and time game, was it?
Yes.
Is there a backstory? I'm intrigued as to how she only has one of her legs.
Well, the description on the box reads is you are obviously on your journey to find what was taken from you, and so that I think maybe someone has detached.
Oh, okay. Detached her leg. Yeah. Every time. Sorry, I'm not sure where I'm going with that. Well, gee, it's hard to say that. I'm not sure what her goal is really. Is she's looking for her leg at racing speed? It seems awfully cruel. I'm not sure why there would be a time limit for her. Does the game have ramps?
Well, that is against this segment's policy, Brett. No questions. All right. So, is this a real game or is this a fake game, Brett? Your answer.
Perhaps just like Dixie Kong, she sort of transforms her hair into, rather than a flying device, some sort of leg device. I would guess that this game is made up simply because of the absurdity of the time limit imposed on this poor young woman.
Okay, Brett, you would be absolutely, completely right. It is fake.
Thank God. I know. I know we all make silly games from time to time.
Okay,
but this just seems outrageous.
All right, should we do one more? I reckon we should do one more. All right, I'll read this one out. So then the last one, Brett, is called Goat Simulator. So
I don't like it.
The premise of the game is you are to play as a goat and you let loose on the town with your horns, ramming people, doing extreme jumps on trampolines, and running around a town, mortifying humans.
I have to say, I believe that I've actually heard of this one. So I'm not really sure what was involved in simulating a goat, really. Other than perhaps eating grass. But yeah, now that I know the further details, I'm still going to go with that this game is real. I think I've actually seen this on the shelves.
Okay. All right. So, Brett, you have actually done some research or maybe know something. You are correct.
He did something. That got him a point.
Yeah, all right. So
I actually, yeah.
So yeah, we will keep a tally of this game. So Brett, you are on 2. Me and Lucas are on 1. So we will do better next time to try to stump you.
Going back,
maybe
is that a pull back to Hopper there?
Fewer games. Yep. Okay. So, all right. Yes. Okay. So that is the end of the Super Smash Brothers gaming podcast. Do you guys want to plug anything? Brett, that doesn't mean
what you think it means.
Probably what you're thinking. Yeah.
My bathtub. I would like to plug my bathtub. Well, I just wanted to add that I'm drinking something right now, and I was wondering if you guys were having a beverage and what the beverage may be.
I'm drinking a George
reveal what
here.
my beverage is.
A George.
A George.
Would you care to explain to the listeners what a George is? Because maybe they haven't been around and don't get the
George
inside
is
joke.
our nickname for a beer that George Clooney was advertising here in Japan. Kimochi.
There we go.
Kimachi.
I believe that is the name of
It
it.
is
Called
a
Kirin.
Kirin beer.
Is
yes.
that correct?
It's a Kirin Green Label.
Which translates into giraffe, but I'm not sure if that's the actual.
No, I think it's a different
translation.
Kirin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I just thought that'd be funny if there was a big beer called giraffe.
So literally giraffe, but not actually giraffe.
Okay, so Brett,
Is that right?
Brett is not plugging anything. Okay. Yeah, I am not drinking. I currently I have had a Guinness today. I will now have another dark beer, from the fridge. I started the podcast and I forgot it, and my lips are dry. So I will be going to the fridge after this is finished. How about you, Brett? What are you drinking currently?
Well, you can get it podcasting. You can get it writing an assignment. As a matter of fact, I got it now. It's a Victoria Bitter, and the best cold beer is Vic.
Okay.
Yeah,
I suppose
so
that works in with our Super Smashed Brothers name.
Yeah.
Like smashed as in
Yeah.
drunk. So there we go. Thank you, Brett. That's the first good thing you've said all night. No, you're all right.
It's a start.
Lucas, do you want to plug anything? I think we will make maybe some Twitter or the Fritter or Slitter accounts for this podcast. None has been made.
Slither is
as
when
such.
you can.
But Lucas, do you have anything?
All the words you can read, but you've only allowed to look for a tiny little gap. As opposed to Twitter, where
I thought it might have been
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
Lucas, you got anything?
I thought
Brett
that
and
was,
I are actually in the band iRobot, so check that out. And I'm working on the game Rising Dusk, so check that out. And yeah.
Oh, cool. We could probably maybe next time you can give us a bit more information on that. So that sounds good. Cool. You can find this. We'll be putting this on the U of Tubes. I believe it's YouTube. So please lick air, share and scribble. And we will also probably be putting this on iTunes if I can work out how to do that. All right. I hope you've enjoyed it. This has been the Super Smashed Brothers Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Unagi Samurai. We are Lucas Stoby Pole Soldier.
Yeah.
I'm always going to say it 3 times. And the man who is curled up in the fetal position in the corner is Mr. Brett that skis on the bread. Brett Skier. All right.
Yeah, Brett, yeah, guys.
All right. And music will be playing now.
The Super Smashed Brothers Podcast.